Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. I want to talk a little bit about this because I thought this story was ridiculous. But according to Daily Mail, Kim Kardashian is one of the front runners to playing the leading lady in the Bodyguard remake. Now, in the original Bodyguard movie, Whitney Houston played the leading lady alongside Kevin Costner. And this, of course, was a huge role for Whitney. And it was mostly big because of the soundtrack. And I think if anybody's going to play Whitney's role as Rachel Marin, they have to know how to sing, okay? And they should know how to act as well. The acting part is important, but the singing part, to me, is big too. And I am confused as to why they would want somebody like Kim Kardashian. Now, I do understand Kim is a big name and she probably would bring attention to the movie, but she can't sing and I'm not really sure she could act that well either. So this report to me sounds so unbelievable. I don't know if somebody working on Kim's PR team is just pumping out stories to keep her name in the headlines, but this story is really silly. Now, if they're going to pick somebody, they should consider maybe Ariana Grande or Beyonce. Also, Halle Bailey could be a good pick too. And people were saying that Halle should star in the movie alongside her co-star from The Little Mermaid, Jonah King. I actually think this would be a good idea too, because Halle and Jonah did have good chemistry. So it would be interesting to see them in another movie together. And some people were even suggesting Taylor Swift should star in the remake.
Who could play the Whitney Houston character?
Taylor Swift.
Are you into it?
I'm
Who
so
would you
into it.
cast?
I think Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because business and commerce, art, and she would freaking sell like crazy.
Right.
But okay, I'm just be real. I'm a black girl.
Yeah.
It was Whitney Houston as a black girl.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner as a white man.
Yes.
What if we flipped it?
Yes.
And it was Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And Idris Elba.
Ooh, Idris Elba.
Right?
Yeah, that is hot. That is good.
Yes.
I understand where Tyra was going with it, but at the same time, it just doesn't give. Taylor and Idris, I don't know how that would look. I mean, maybe they could pull it off and shock people, but a lot of people were not feeling that idea when Tyra brought it up. But there are still some people who want Taylor to be a part of this remake. I mean, I could actually see her being up for consideration because she is a big star. But my thing is, if they're going to consider casting an A-list singer, they should really cast somebody who can really sing. Like, I want a person like Beyonce or Ariana Grande in that role. And I'm not saying they have to fill in Whitney's shoes because nobody is going to be able to do what Whitney did. But if they're going to cast an A-list singer, it would be nice if they chose somebody who could really sing and who could also act. That is going to make or break this film, in my opinion. And honestly, I don't necessarily think The Bodyguard needs a remake. I mean, I do remember years ago, there was a movie out called Beyond the Lights that kind of had a similar theme, but the storyline was more compelling than The Bodyguard, in my opinion. It was actually a good movie, very underrated, but yeah, if they do a remake for The Bodyguard, I hope they do it justice. Now, they're definitely not going to be able to match that soundtrack, that's for sure, but they could at least make the storyline more unique and more interesting. And I hope they don't drop the ball on the casting. They need to get the casting right. Now, moving on to this topic, it's a little old, but last week there was a lot of chatter about Chris Brown interacting with his ex-girlfriend Karrueche. Now, this was interesting to see because Chris and Karrueche had a lot of ups and downs in their relationship. Chris was actually juggling Karrueche and Rihanna at the same time at one point, and it turned into a very messy love triangle. He also impregnated another woman while he was in a relationship with Karrueche.
Did you find out about the baby the same time, around the same time we found out?
Yeah, when it hit TMZ, I was like, oh, I called him, I cussed him out, and I was like,
final straw.
Because after the whole Rihanna thing, it's been like a year or whatever, we've been trying to fix what was broken.
Right. I agree.
And that was just the icing on the cake.
Not to mention, Karrueche had issues with Chris harassing her. He even got into a whole feud with Soulja Boy over her.
Hey, Chris Brown, you a bitch, nigga.
You gonna call my phone on FaceTime talking about some, oh, why you liking Karrueche pictures on Instagram, man? Why you liking Karrueche pictures on Instagram? When I see you, I'ma catch the fade. I'ma knock you out. When I see you, Chris, I'ma beat your ass. And Karrueche don't want you, nigga.
And last year, he got into a little back and forth with Quavo, and he brought up Quavo dating Karrueche and said, just because you mess with my old B doesn't make us equal. To me, this kind of showed that Chris was still hung up on Karrueche. Even though she left him and filed a restraining order against him, Chris Brown still wasn't over her. Now, they interacted at Coachella last week. It was the first weekend. And you saw Karrueche laughing at something he said. Now, somebody who was able to figure out what happened said he wasn't even telling a joke. LMAO, she asked him if he was going on stage with Tyga, and he said, what for? We all know what those giggles mean. And after this interaction, Chris Brown did start to like Karrueche's pictures. Now, this is not the first time Chris has liked Karrueche's pictures. Like I said, Chris has never been over Karrueche, so he's been looking at her page from time to time, liking a picture here and there. So this is not new, but a lot of people are making a big deal out of it and saying, oh my gosh, they might just spin the block. This might be another Ashanti and Nelly moment. Honestly, I don't want to see them get back together. I know that Karrueche's restraining order against Chris has expired, but still, I don't want to see these two back together because their relationship was messy. People don't understand. Chris was crashing out over Karrueche. This man was harassing her, blowing up her phone. He even put his hands on her allegedly. And this is why Karrueche got that restraining order. He was just doing way too much. So knowing their history, I wouldn't want them to get back together. I mean, it's cool that they could be cordial now and they let bygones be bygones. That's all right. But them getting back together is a no because their relationship was toxic. But you know something? I wouldn't be surprised if they did actually start talking again. I don't think Karrueche would do it, especially with him having 3 baby mamas now. But I can't be so sure because Karrueche was smiling a little too hard at him. But Chris Brown seems to be in a better place. He's no longer in any mess. He seems to be making amends, not only with Karrueche, but even Tiana Taylor. Last year, he and Tiana got into an argument and Usher had to step in and break it up. It was pretty messy, but it seemed like they got over that hump as well. So Chris has been given chance after chance, and I think in this season, he needs to stay focused and avoid drama at all costs because a lot of people don't get the chances that he has gotten. So I don't want him to fumble it. And I don't think it will be a good idea for him to link back up with Karrueche because that man gets crazy in love when it comes to her. He currently has a new girl that looks a lot like her. So he's not over Karrueche. He's not. But anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.